So we all have those drawings that we just do not like until the very end, and this is one of those drawings to me. I think it was for two reasons. One, I'm not good at drawing people. It just does not come naturally to me at all. And two, for whatever stupid, non-existent reason, I didn't use any references for this drawing. Even though I completely support using references, and I do it all the time, I just didn't for some reason. So I was kind of just stabbing around randomly throughout the entire process. As you can see, I started this one by drawing on paper first, and then taking a picture of that physical sketch and importing it into my digital art program, which is Procreate, always, all the time. And that's because even though I draw a lot digitally, for some reason I find it slightly easier to draw people on paper, so that's typically what I do when especially human faces are a big part of the drawing. Alright, so who am I drawing here? I'm gonna rant to you guys really quick about two of my OCs. These are Ray and Paula. They're two characters I made years ago, I think in like 9th grade of high school, and I was writing a story about them for a bit, but then I got distracted by other projects. Years passed, and then nothing ever really came of it. But I never totally forgot about them, as I think is the case with a lot of us who have OCs, and every now and then I would still doodle them in my school notebooks. Then come 2024, I had a realization about my writing, and that realization was that I had never really put out any stories for people to read, which is something that I had always envisioned myself doing while I was in college, and I wanted to change that. I've written a lot of more quote-unquote serious fiction while being an English major, but I've always wanted to have a project going that was just for fun. I got inspired to keep working on the story, and this time I made a promise to myself that I would actually get the story out there. And to force myself to follow through with that, instead of finishing the whole story and then posting it, I've actually been posting the story one chapter at a time. It's totally free to read, and I illustrate every chapter if you like pictures, so if you want to check it out, I put a link in the description of this video. I would super appreciate it. So the basic story pitch is that Ray, the guy in the blue hoodie, wakes up in the middle of the night in an abandoned stadium, and he has no idea how he got there. He hears a girl calling for help somewhere and follows a voice to find Paula, who's the girl on the right, curled up on the floor and freaking out because she also has no idea how she got there, and on top of that, she can't see anything. Turns out neither of them really have any memory about their pasts. They're both bruised and covered in scratches, they have these weird tattoos, but they have no clue what led to them waking up there with no one else around. Things get even weirder when Paula opens her eyes and a blinding light comes out of them, which doesn't even feel biologically possible to Ray. So the two of them work together to figure out what happened to them, where they are, what's going on with Paula's eyes, and why this raven won't stop following them. If that sounds like your vibe, again, link is in the description, and feel free to check it out. But yeah, it's been really fun uploading and illustrating this story as I write it. I'm generally kind of a perfectionist when it comes to writing, which is the reason why 99% of what I write never sees the light of day, because I just edit and edit and edit, and then eventually, after so much time of editing has passed, I don't even like the core story anymore, and then I just end up scrapping it and rewriting it all together, and then the process repeats itself. Which is almost what happened with this one. When I came back to it recently, about 6 years after coming up with the story originally, I was kind of like, okay, I don't know if this is a story premise that I would go with if I were to start all over again right now. But I had so much attachment and so many memories with the concept that I just couldn't bring myself to totally transform it into something completely different. So it's nerve-wracking, but also a very cool experience to not even really be editing this story, to just write it and get it out there. It's a nice exercise in letting go and just being able to have fun with something, especially since my forte when it comes to writing is really poetry, not fiction. But if any of you out there are working on stories about your original characters as passion projects, I encourage you to stick with it. Even if you don't end up putting out your stories for other people to read, writing a story is such a beautiful thing, and I know that even for the ones that I've never shared, they taught me a lot and have brought me a lot of joy. So please go for it, have fun with it, unleash your stupidities and questions and nonsense onto a blank paper. Don't worry about whether it's good or not. I know it's a platitude, but seriously, if it makes you happy, write. There's something magical about creating your own little universe just using words on a page, and you don't have to be a quote-unquote writer to do it. Also, if you are writing a story, or if you do have your own characters, I'd honestly love to hear about it, so feel free to info dump about either your OCs or what you're writing in the comments. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I see you in the next video.